What's up guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Shriek action figure. Before we open her up, let's take a look at the box. At the top we see a Spider-Man logo. Moving on to the bottom, there's some product information. And down to the side, there's a stylized artwork of Shriek. Moving on to the back of the box, we see a full version of that artwork, a description of the character, the rest of the figures in the Armadillo Build-A-Figure wave. And moving on to that last side, it's the same artwork. So let's go ahead and get her open. Out of the box, we see the action figure on the tray. She comes with a set of interchangeable fists, another set of gripping hands, and of course there's the Armadillo Build-A-Figure torso, together with his back plate on the second tray behind this figure. Her fists are cast in a white plastic, but because of the asymmetry in her design, the black is used on the peg for the right hand. And that's of course accompanied by some black paint applications on the back of the hand as well. And we also see the same thing on her gripping hands. Both sets of the gripping hands and the fists are articulated in as well as out. And of course those fists pop in just fine. The same goes for those gripping hands, though it's a bit strange that she comes with them because she doesn't come with any other accessories to grab. But still, options are options, and that's always good. Shriek isn't really a mainstream character in the Marvel Universe, but since she's gonna appear on the Venom 2 movie, I think that's why Hasbro has made an action figure of the comic character. And of course, it's as good an opportunity to introduce a new female body mold, and Hasbro has done just that with Shriek. She's on a medium-built body, clearly bigger than the regular mold that we get with characters like Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman, Lady Deadpool, and Elektra. The medium body mold is closer in size to characters like Rogue, Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman, and Captain Marvel. The new body sculpt is pretty good because it's sculpted more muscular and curvy. And on top of that, she even comes with double-jointed elbows and knees that are all pinless as well. On top of that, the plastic that's used on her feels denser and more solid. She feels heavier than Rogue over here, even though the bodies are almost the same size. And that denser plastic gives the figure a better feel of quality in hand, with more weight in her legs, therefore making the figure more stable, and she will probably hold a lot more poses better. Shriek's head sculpt is pretty decent. I think this is the first time that we're actually seeing this digital print on a comic action figure. Her eyes and eyebrows are very sharply printed on. There's black paint for her eyebrows, as well as around her scarred left eye. She's got blue paint for the pupil on her bright right eye. Also black paint for her lipstick, as well as that design pattern on her chin and jaw. There's also sculpted earrings that are painted in silver on both her ears. The paint on this left jaw doesn't seem to go all the way to the earring though. She's sculpted with a smiling expression on her face. And depending on which camp you are from, this smile could look anything from having sinister intentions to just being just a little bit goofy. Her hair is sculpted with some nice textures. However, I find this seam just a little distracting on the front of the head. It looks like the hair is assembled from two different pieces. So moving over to the back of her head, you can see even more of that sculpted texture in the hair. So that's some nice work, but it's all just cast in a black plastic without any wash. Moving on to her torso, there are also sharp applications of white paint, no bleeding at all, and that white really pops on that black plastic body. That white paint pattern also extends to her shoulders. But with her arms hanging by her side in a vanilla stance, that pattern doesn't actually line up, so that's also another slight distraction. She's got a silver plastic belt that hangs loosely around her hips. Her lower arms have that asymmetry in design. There's black paint extending from her forearm into her right hand, and on her left side that white actually extends from that hand into her forearm. On her left side, she also has a matching silver plastic bracelet. Moving on to the back of that figure, we also see the same sharp application of white paint on her upper back. And this time it actually lines up with the white paint on her arms. Moving on to her legs, they are just cast in a black plastic. Really plain with no further design elements. but you can see that there is nice sculpting for the toned muscles. And of course everything looks really integrated with those pinless joints. For articulation, her head is on a ball hinge, so she goes right and left, but a lot of that range is hindered by that hair sculpt. Likewise, she cannot tilt her head upwards because her hair sculpt is resting directly on her shoulders and her back. For downward range, she's got pretty good tilt. Swivel hinge at the shoulders, so her arm goes 360 as well as going out quite a fair bit beyond 90 degrees. Upper bicep swivel, so that spins around. Pinless, double jointed elbows, which are the holy grail of female body sculpts in Marvel Legends. Fantastic range, fantastic design. I hope we see more of this on coming characters using this female body sculpt. Swivel hinge at the wrist, so it goes 360, articulating inwards as well as outwards. Mid-torso bolt joint, so she swings right as well as left. It's pretty stiff. There's also sideways tilt to the left and the right. Forward ab crunch, just that little bit. So once again, female Marvel Legends ab crunch range is quite limited. And she also bends backwards, and I think that's a fair bit of range. Also great to see that white paint extends all the way into her torso joint, looking consistent even as she bends backwards. She's got ball jointed hips that go out quite a fair bit, forward and backward pretty well as well. Upper thigh swivel that swings 360. Double jointed pinless knees, very good range. Good bit of ankle tilt upwards as well as downwards, and ankle pivot outwards as well as inwards. They feel detented in that swivel. Absolutely great to have that double jointed elbows because now she can put her hands together close to her chest. Besides her limited neck joint, posability on this figure is pretty good. Although she doesn't come with her own effects, you can borrow some from other Marvel Legends. And combining that with her interchangeable hands and the denser plastic on this figure, she ends up being quite fun to handle. Size-wise, Shriek stands at just under 6¼ inches or just under 16 centimeters. For some size comparisons, here she is with Venom and Carnage. The rest of the Marvel Legends symbiotes, Green Goblin and Spider-Man, Wolverine and Iron Man, some G.I. Joe Classified series, and Star Wars Black series. There's not much to shout about Shriek's design, but there are plenty of firsts in the construction of this as a sort of landmark action figure. It's the first comic figure to have digital print in the head sculpt. It's completely pinless all over the body with double jointed elbows, and the plastic just feels denser, especially in the legs, giving it more stability. I hope Hasbro uses this standard female body mold moving forward. Finally, it's also great to have Carnage's girlfriend in action figure form. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Also, don't forget to check out my new TikTok account in the description below. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.